And we're live.
We're live here at Disney California Adventure because there's a bunch of stuff going on, folks, and we have a lot to show you today because Lunar New Year has started, but also the very first signs of Disney 100 are also here. And you'll have to forgive me starting in such an unattractive section of the park. We're here in the Grizzly Peak Airfield. I kind of like this section of the park now. They've redone it. It's a little more forested than it used to be in the early days. But I'm walking you towards Buena Vista Street so you can see the new Disney 100 banners. And then we're going to walk down the parade route to the new festival that just launched today, which is Lunar New Year. It is the year of the rabbit in most Asian cultures that celebrate Lunar New Year, but the Vietnamese, their zodiac this year is the year of the cat. Now, usually it's the same as everyone else, but this year, by a strange twist, it's different. And Disney is celebrating both, and they're very lucky because they have a duo of characters that fits the bill perfectly. So Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Walt Disney's first major character, is of course a rabbit. And his girlfriend Hortensia is a cat. So they're the mascots of this year's event so that they get both a rabbit and a cat, and now everybody's happy. So it's perfect. I see up ahead, Five and Dime. We won't be able to hear too much with Five and Dime. Now, they have been using their car recently, but I see today they are not. Their car is not here. Of course, we love any kind of entertainment, so we're happy to see them performing even without their car. So here's some of the new Disney 100 stuff. And you see as I'm walking up towards it, it just looks like a coin. But you have to get up kind of close to see the detail in it because it's platinum without any bas relief there. So they don't have any kind of black or any color between the features for you to really make it out. So you have to get right up on it. I'm going to get up on the curb here and walk towards it. There it is. And it's different for the two parks. Now, there's Minnie over there. The characters will eventually be in their Disney 100 outfits, at least at Disneyland. I'm assuming they're going to do that here. This park's going to focus a little more on Oswald and Hortensia, and then over at Disneyland, they're going to focus more on Mickey and Minnie. I hear a trolley behind me, so I'm going to try not to get hit because I'm right on the trolley tracks, but it is busy here on Buena Vista Street. I'm just walking down a little way over here because they have this new Disney 100 thing at the front, but there's also an actual giant medallion on the other side. Maybe at the end of this video, if we have a little bit of time, I'll take you out in the Esplanade, show you the banners out there. But these are the new blue and platinum banners. They're shiny. This time of night, you see the reflections. When Andy took his pictures yesterday during the daylight, they just looked pure silver and blue. And he was complaining there wasn't a lot of color, but at this time of night, they're a little bit more chrome illusion-ish. I sort of like it. I totally see the point. Some are saying that it feels a little cold, and it does. But if that was all there was here, if it was just these banners, it would definitely be very cold. But they're not. They're just hanging on the buildings. So there's the other colors and things of the area, so it doesn't bother me so much. More of trees over here. Now on the tram route, they have unique banners, each one featuring a different Disney accomplishment or film over the course of the 100 years of the Disney Corporation. So they would have, for example, Aladdin in the year that it came out, and Disneyland 1955. Some of those have some problems. They have the wrong year on Snow White. They list the Matterhorn as an opening day attraction, which of course it was not. It was 1959, not 1955. So there's some stuff they have to work out. Obviously did not have time to do a good check on all the information. We're walking up to the Carthay. There's some stuff there too, and I know it's too loud for you to hear me probably. They've added some stars. Nathan, does this kind of look like New Year's Eve to you?
Yes, it does. I don't know why that star is off-centered, but it's really bugging me.
Well, I think it's off-center because if they put it upright, it wouldn't fit.
That's poor planning on their part.
It is interesting. But it's that same way on the banners out front in the Esplanade. It matches perfectly, like it's also sideways.
As someone who loves an equally placed banner,
You want
I don't like
everything
that.
to be in perfect equilibrium.
That is correct.
Well, welcome to my world, Nathan.
Is perfection too
Where-
much to ask for?
Nothing is imperfect. Hello, ladies. So it feels a little bit like Food and Wine Festival, but Food and Wine, we would see booths right here, and there are no booths. But there is a change to the Lunar New Year Festival because you're seeing the Lunar New Year archway right here. And it's almost never in a spot this close to the front of the park. It's always back by Paradise Pier. And now we're hearing the music already, so they've really expanded. Now, is there any stuff happening? Oh yeah, there's the first booth right there. Sounds like Epcot. Lunar New Year, it's the year of the Oswald.
There's a question asking about how the Small World renovation went, because it's supposedly open today.
Well, then it must have gone very well. So Small World, they were doing a slightly longer than normal renovation. There were some additional props that they needed to fix that they didn't get a chance to be for the holidays. So I'm glad to hear that. Unfortunately, they're not moving on, so Haunted Mansion still won't go down until after the opening of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway
This
Railway.
is a new booth, bamboo blessings, but
Those are all items I recognize, Nathan.
yes, that is correct.
So
These are festival classics.
new booth, old classics, but it's only 2 items. So it's the Mickey Mouse shaved hot dog bun and the sweet potato macaron
And they have a bunch of beers.
and beers. So there's a beer.
Yes.
Bamboo blessings.
And then there's another question from Candy asking if you know anything about Star Wars After Dark Night, if it's coming back this year.
Well, I don't know anything new about it other than what we know from years past. So there will be a Star Wars fireworks show, some Star Wars character meet and greets, and they will very likely do Hyperspace Mountain overlay because these are very expensive events. And they have to make them worthwhile somehow. I know a lot of people are buying tickets to these events and then afterwards they like to complain about them. But these events are what they are. They're really just meet and greet and photo opportunities. Here's some of the new merchandise. You're the Rabbit, it's Judy Hopps. And then over here I see Thumper and Mad Hair and White Rabbit. This is is Rabbit from Pooh. I like Judy Hopps' outfit there. Cute. So several of Disney's rabbits. Disney has a lot of rabbits. Of course, the big deal about Oswald for this year, not only is that he's the perfect rabbit for Lunar New Year, Oswald was for Mickey Mouse. And I know I've seen Disney write an article about it all started with a cat, because there was another character even before Oswald that appeared in some of the Alice comedies. However, that cat was a very minor kind of a character. There's not a lot remaining of him, whereas Oswald has really remained persistent. So
This is the
there's
other
another new
booth.
one?
This
What's that say? I can't even read it.
wrapped with love.
Wrapped with love.
Dumplings.
The L just kind of disappears with a giant O, so it looked like a wrapped wiffle oath. You know, I like an oath. What's the food there? Is it good?
That is new this year. It's a wonton and a dumpling. And my eyes were too big for my stomach. I haven't made it to that.
You haven't made it this far yet? You've been here all day since noon. So what have you eaten that you loved?
What I liked was right here at this booth, Red Spice Dragon Traders. They had spicy fried chicken bites and a spicy non-alcoholic beverage that I really enjoyed.
So red spice fried chicken bites,
And the
gochujang
dancing-
elote. You have to forgive me, folks, if I don't think right. I am learning. I actually spent several years living in Japan when I was a child. My sister was actually born there.
This year,
He hates this, everybody, but we have an Andy Castro drive-by little celebrity sighting in the parks, and Andy's the one that had to go yesterday to the parks, shoot all the pictures of the Disney 100, then come back today to update it all. Thank you, Andy. We appreciate you.
we're looking forward.
He's got things to say. We love you, Andy. Take care. Andy speaks his mind. And one of the things we love about him. We don't always agree. Not everybody has to agree, but he has great observations.
Speaking about the food this year,
Yes.
they're really leaning in on the concept of Asian fusion.
Well, I
don't-
noticed that some of it almost sounded like Mexican food.
There's a lot of Asian-Mexican fusion this time around. And unfortunately, I can't say that it's all that successful.
Oh. Sometimes they're better off to be less inventive and just better tasting.
I think that they've gone into what's trendy, not so much as what's going to be delicious.
Looks like there's a new lounge flight here. It's square and it looks like it has a red envelope. Of course, the red envelopes are symbolic of putting the money in them. Good luck to give an envelope filled with money. Nathan, it's good luck if you give me money.
It's better luck if you get this Mulan doll and bring her home.
Do you like her?
She's kind of cute.
Nathan likes Mulan.
I do.
Nathan likes Mulan. Nathan likes Mulan. I do like these rabbits and the lanterns. Now, a lot of this merchandise is not developed by Disney parks here in the U.S., but rather by Disney's parks overseas. So there are things that you might see in Hong Kong Disneyland, Shanghai Disneyland, or Tokyo Disneyland. And that's why sometimes they don't really have the aesthetic. You think, huh, interesting that they would do that for the U.S. parks, but they weren't done for the U.S. parks. It was just the U.S. parks borrowing those items to sell here. And sometimes you'll even see on the label Hong Kong Disneyland listed on the label of many of those items. They're doing a special World of Color at night. I believe it's called Hurry Home. Is that right, Nathan?
Hurry Home, a Lunar New Year celebration.
And it's a tag in front of the regular World of Color. So it's like two shows in one. So you get the Hurry Home at first at the front of the show, and then you get the regular World of Color. This cart isn't selling anything, I don't think. It's just decoration.
It is just decoration.
Cute. A little altar almost to the rabbit. The rabbit is calm. It's supposed to be a good year for people. There's Oswald. You'll see Hortensia there, and they're actually in the park. Did you spot Hortensia today, Nathan?
I did. She was very popular. That said, she is not part of the Lunar New Year processional, but Oswald is.
Huh. They should put her in the processional so everyone can see her without waiting in a long line. Now, they've had longevity noodle almost every year that I can remember of this celebration.
And they have not changed anything here, except they do have a raspberry oat milk tea. That sounds quite good. I'm going to be trying that in a little bit.
Have you gone through all 6 tabs on your tasting card yet, Nathan?
I will have you know that I've gone through a modest 3 and then have purchased 2 drinks.
So I love the garlic noodles, at least I did last year. I haven't tried anything yet this year. They have pork dan noodle, and there's that raspberry oat milk tea, and I'm excited about that, Nathan, because I don't do dairy, or very, very little of it.
That's what you like to say.
And well, Nathan knows otherwise. He's had to suffer through many a long evening with me. But I love the idea. Oh my gosh, it's our friends here. Ladies, so good to see you. So I really like the idea of them doing oat milk beverages. They've been doing that with a lot of the cold brews lately too. So I'm happy with that.
There is a cold brew over.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
At Lucky 8 Lantern that I would recommend staying far away from.
Oh.
Unless you like the taste of Barbasol.
I don't like the taste of Barbasol. What I do like is this Donald banner. Isn't he cute? Oh, that's really adorable. Just the way they do some of the characters is so adorable. And sadly, we're having some bad coverage here, so we may not stay here long. But
our friend Ando is asking about the tasting card this year. There are 6 tabs on it. Costs $45 or $42 if you have a Magic Key discount. And it gets you tastes through the festival, 6 tastes, from the marketplaces or from participating locations.
so there's some cards here at the front of Paradise Garden. So we're right here where you're very familiar with, but it's kind of decorated right now. But they're explaining how Lunar New Year is different in the different Asian cultures. So it's called Tet. Vietnam, they're also celebrating Year of the Cat this year. Chinese New Year, and they talk about how the Chinese family celebrate. And you see it written in the characters that Chinese people may know. Of course, they have different versions of their language. Mandarin and Cantonese, and then it's in English below. So it's neat. Lunar New Year for Koreans here, and then a description below. So very neat. They're being inclusive like that and letting you see what they're. Looks like there's some crafting or something going on over here. I just showed up seconds before the video started because we're working on Gumball Rally, so it was a stretch for me to get here today. New Year's wishes, and I find this particularly charming. It's the first day. There are already a lot of wishes on the chains, but you come over here, you write your wishes down on the table, then they affix them, or you affix them, it looks like, onto the chains, and by the end of the festival, it's just absolutely filled with remembrance of the dead. Look at this long line, Nathan.
This is to see the rotating characters.
Huge switch patch, and you don't even know which character is going to be there, right?
There's a good mix of characters.
Oh, there's Oswald. That is one lucky rabbit. This area breathe. All right, and then we're going to quickly look at the food and this stage. So they do have musicians playing.
They do have a new vocal a cappella group. Pretty fun.
And then did you look at the menu at all here?
There are a couple new things, but it's largely the same.
Kimchi, banh mi.
The kimchi is the had that last year, and they have your least favorite option.
Traditional, very, very lucky, auspicious, but not if you don't like fishes. Yeah, always been queasy like that. I lived for a while in India many years ago. Not represented very well in parks. A little bit over at the Animal Kingdom in Florida. But I normally wouldn't eat because otherwise I would have starved. We have no coverage here.
That is correct.
We're headed into a dead zone, folks, and unfortunately, we have to walk out of it a long way. I would wait in line and get a beer. And I would drink that beer while I was talking to you. And none would be the wiser because you can't see me holding Budweiser. Why am I singing, Nathan? Make me stop.
There's no stopping you.
It's no stopping.
Connie states, I'm noticing many decorations for Lunar New Year. I'm sure they reuse some of them. What happens to all the decorations after the festivities are done?
Well,
like the new 100 items.
You would be surprised too every year because they have to represent the character of that year. So last much more dragon themed. Tiger themed. And this year it's the characters up. But in most cases, these signs have years and things on them, so they repeat a lot of the idea just because Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year, Tet, they tend to use the same colors every year, so you see a lot of red, the main color, it's good luck. But you also see yellow, mostly because it's a good counterbalance to the red.
There's also all new decorations along the Grizzly Peak Trail, not the trail, but like that little embarcado.
We're gonna look really quick. They did start some construction over there for the Baymax San Francisco overlay. We're not going to linger in that area because we have no coverage over there apparently. We have to figure that out. We use AT&T, the official cell provider of the Disneyland Resort. And I can tell you, it does not have great coverage at the Disneyland Resort. Big mistake on our part. They have set a lot of tables up on the sides, Nathan, for people to eat. That's good.
Yes. But even still, it gets quite busy with influencers trying to film their new bites.
Yes. For their dozens of followers. There are real influencers out there for sure, but these days, everyone's an influencer.
If you've got a phone, you've got influence.
You've got influence. We, of course, are doing this because we're journalists. Oh my gosh. I do love this music. Very calm, beautiful.
Look at the new decorations.
Oh, we'll go down there. We'll go down and look. Meanwhile, I'm just going to point something out over here. We're not going to go all the way down the parade route because we're going to go into the Grizzly area. Hopefully see a little glimpse of Oriya. Did you see if her meet and greet is back?
Raya, yes.
Oh, good. Just going to show you all real quick around those people. They did add a Lunar New Year thing to the base of the tower there, so they've kind of themed out the tower for Lunar New Year. That's neat. And they're starting work here, so some point over the next few days, more and more of this will be done. They've mostly dried out the lagoon now. This lagoon is also the reservoir for Grizzly River Rapids, but the reason it's completely dry is because they're starting the construction for San Francisco. And this little garden area over here, they've already got a wall up, and they're going to be doing, and there's a scrim on the backside. This is all going to be changed up a little bit because this bridge is being changed. It's going to remain open, at least for now, for guest traffic, even while they add a sort of Asian version of the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco.
They can't close that area off because that's how they direct traffic when the procession is going.
Yes.
They force you to use that walkway.
This is a fairly short, yeah, I'm going to go down this way. Fairly short celebration. Do you know when it ends, Nathan?
February 15th.
So a little under a month. And then almost right away is food and wine.
That is correct.
Hurry up!
Lots of yelling going on. And then you'll see in the trees here, they've got red lanterns.
On both sides.
Both sides, nice.
This is new. It's nice.
San Francisco Street, of course, huge Chinatown in San Francisco. So it fits well. Another reason why I believe they're doing San Francisco, because Lunar New Year has become very popular here. San Francisco fits in because it's somewhat Asian, although it's definitely a mythical fantasy environment, but inspired by Asian culture. So it's a good fit for this park. They also oftentimes use the area back where Pacific Wharf is for Hispanic festivals, and really any kind of festival. It just becomes whatever culture they need it to be. This booth is oddly placed. They don't usually put anything here for example, Festival of the Holidays. So they did years ago, and they stopped using it, but neat. They've spread the festival out. What's on this menu, Nathan?
Stuff I would recommend staying away from.
Stay away from it, folks. Nathan
This is
says,
the quesadilla egg roll. This is another fusion.
food. And look, long lines. First day of the festival, long lines already. It's very good.
Actually, I used this. This one didn't have all that long of a wait, so I used this one to order the majority of my food.
Really? And then you didn't like it?
I ordered my food and picked it up at the other booths, so that's convenient.
Oh, that's a good tip. You can order your food from any booth using your tabs.
Yes.
And then go and pick it up. So they give you a receipt and you just go on your own time schedule and pick it up.
Exactly.
It's not like they get it ready for you and they leave it there. You just show the receipt, they mark it off your receipt and you pick it up.
Yeah,
because they're only
exactly.
making one or two things at each booth, so they don't make it fresh for you. Raya in the house. She was the surprise hit of last year's festival. So popular. Lines to see her were easily over an hour long. It looks like she's equally as popular this year. How long would you estimate that Raya meet and greet is?
Goodbye, camper.
They're blocking off the end of the line there, so they may not be letting more people in. And
The
beautiful lanterns.
look amazing.
They have been refreshed.
They were
bright and
looking
colorful.
quite sad at the end of last year.
Look at how many people are in line. So all the way back here to the front of the area.
Ando says Nathan food tips. That's right, Ando. I've got. If you ask me about a food at Disneyland, I've most likely eaten it.
Ando's all the way on the other side of the world and jealous that he's not here at Disney California Adventure eating food with you, Nathan.
There's also some Raya-themed food here.
How beautiful this area is with the lanterns. I just love it. Yeah, what are these items, Nathan?
There's a bow. Technically, this wasn't supposed to start until the 19th, so this is my first time seeing this.
Oh, they have a chicken bow this year. That looks good.
Looks
And
very
also
similar.
a purple grape cotton candy
That is
and
sweet and savory eligible.
a hard cider. Yum. There's the grape cotton candy. That's what I want. I'm a hummingbird and I can live on pure sugar.
Joby asks, is this a one-off event?
This is an event that's lasting for weeks, and they do it every year. So it's kind of a new hit festival for the Disneyland Resort. So they do Lunar New Year just about every year. They've been doing it for many, many years now. Keeps growing and growing because it's very popular. Some ways I think it's more popular with guests than even Festival of the Holidays. Certainly seems like the booths are busier for this festival.
No, I was saying wait for her to go down.
And I do think that although the food that I had today was on the more disappointing side, I do know that there are a lot of good, tried and true classics that are returning to the festival.
Yeah, there's a lot of great
so
food
there are
for this
good
festival.
things for this festival.
For sure. For example, the garlic noodles, which I love.
And the
a
char
lot of
siu, pork
a lot
bao.
of the bao, and I'm really interested to try this chicken bao over
You
here.
guys sit down. One of you guys has to sit here. One of you guys has to go down.
I wonder how different that is from
right here.
the one that's at Tropical Hideaway, the chicken bao there.
Well, Tropical Hideaway's bao are a little different, but I like them, and they have a new one, the char. How do you char
char
siu?
siu.
They removed the Loco Moco bao. Look at here. We'll see the construction on Grizzly as long as we're in the area. Oh, my eyes always spot construction. This one is down every year at this time because no one wants to ride
Is it
this
going
ride
away?
when it's cold. It's not going away. Although I did receive that email this week, panicked that, is it true somebody lost an arm and therefore this ride is closing down? Neither of those are true. There's a lot of fake news going on right now in particular about Disney. We're not sure what entirely is behind it, but a lot of small sites that I've never heard of before pick up little stories like that and then they all share it like it's true. We're not sure if something's behind that, if it's intentional, or it's just a bunch of people just trying to get page views. You can see walls up around Grizzly here, just regular maintenance in the cold season when nobody wants to ride. What's funny is, usually by the time it's finishing up, we're having days in the hundreds. Because this time of year we also get Santa Ana winds and they sometimes bring high temperatures with them. In fact, last year during Gumball Rally, which was the second week in February last year, it was over 100 degrees for the rally in February. This year it looks like we might, it might be a little cooler, maybe even a little spot of rain. You never know what it's going to be like in California in January and February. We've had so much rain, Nathan, in the last few weeks that we went from one of the worst, most critical droughts we've ever had in the state to many areas of the state not being in drought anymore. Still have a drought situation here, but it's just not as critical as it was before because we've had so much rain. Bad for Disney, bad for the theme parks. Disney's had to close early many nights. They've had to cancel fireworks on many nights. And I believe at Disneyland, since the holidays are over, they've switched back to Mickey and Minnie's, or not Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Fireworks Show. What do they call it? Mickey's Mix Magic. Oh boy.
Get me far, far away from that.
You don't like that one. I sort of do.
The only segment in that I like is Let It Go. That one's the only danceable song in the entire thing.
I like the Haunted Mansion section. No flash photography, please. And then
But
the
how are you
ghosts
supposed to
get
dance to
down.
that? It's supposed to be a dance party. You can't dance to that.
Oh, I can. I interpretive dance.
No to see that. I speak for the trees and everyone else.
For the trees who don't want Dusty to dance to the Haunted Mansion song. You know what I think we have time for, Nathan?
A snack?
Is this park, oh my gosh, that sounds so good. I haven't eaten today. We had some leftovers this morning for breakfast. We split half of a sandwich between the two of us. We went out late last night for Denny's in the middle of the night because we were hungry.
The life of a blogger is quite unusual.
It's a little weird right now because we are working on so many breaking news stories. So the opening of the incredible Super Nintendo World at Universal, the opening of Toothsome's Chocolate Factory at Universal. You can find information about both of those on the site right now. But also The Disney 100 stuff has landed, Lunar New Year stuff. There's news about park reservations for Florida and changing the way that they're handled. Park hopping rules have changed for Disneyland, 11 a.m. now instead of 1 p.m.
That goes into effect in early February, so not just
And
yet.
we have news about Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and that it will be using a virtual queue system, so you'll have two options. When you get into the park, you can try to book a virtual queue spot for yourself for free, or you can buy an extra cost Lightning Lane that does not require you to buy Genie Plus because it is an extra selection. So we don't know what the price will be. It'll probably be floating based on demand. We wouldn't be surprised if at $20 to $30, at least at first. So those are your two options. And why are they doing that? Well, there's no standby, in part because they don't want there to be 3-hour lines for it, especially since a kiddie ride, you don't want your children waiting in line with you for 3 or 4 hours. That's a surefire disaster situation. So they do the virtual queue. The other reason is because Toontown is still under construction. It's not only opening until March, I believe, and that means there's going to be a lot of walls up. There's a corridor they've built from underneath the train tracks there by Small World, and then you'll walk straight to the ride. So there's just nowhere to queue people. They're doing virtual queue. No, there's a bit of lagging going on in the video. Don't worry, we're about to hop over to Disneyland. Where not only do we enjoy the experience more, but there's better Wi-Fi.
You can see all of the info about Lunar New Year and the myriad of articles that we have published on Mice Chat. We've got an article specifically about the food, an article about the merchandise, a general article.
All about Lunar New Year.
All about Lunar New Year.
And today we also ran articles about the 2 new tiki mugs at Trader Sam's. And then Andy's article about all of these Disney 100 flags and banners and things, gadgets and gizmos and whiz-bangs, all of them. We're going to go all the way up to the castle, don't worry folks, because they've added some Disney 100 stuff to the castle. Nathan, I don't even know how to express how disappointed I am that we're leaving California Adventure without me being able to taste even one thing from that festival. In my mind, I was envisioning showing up to the park with Nathan holding a tray full of Lunar New Year delights to greet me and all of you so we could sample the food together. But did that happen? No, because Nathan ate it all.
What? Perhaps if you had come a little earlier, we might have had something to work out.
Not possible. We are going to look at some of these banners here. The Disney 100 banners. Characters are sort of in 1920s style outfits, but it's all blue and so it
purple.
Also, yes, blue and purple and silver and blue. I don't know. In any case, it feels like New Year's Eve. And you see the stars, and then there are a couple of banners that just have those sideways stars on them. So if you look there behind Chip and Dale, Nathan, there's one of those sideways stars, just like on the front of Carthay.
It looks like someone got
dear.
drunk and did
Look
their...
at the long line to get into Disneyland.
They
All those
must...
people saying, "Get me out of here." There's that weird star. It just feels like candlelight.
I really
Like,
dislike it.
doesn't this feel weird? Like they didn't have enough characters to put a character on that.
And why isn't it
It
straight?
doesn't even say 100 in the middle of it. Like, it's just a random star that looks like the holidays. Okay, now I can show them. I should have stopped when we were closer. There's the medallion at the front of California Adventure. It's round. It just says Disney 100 in the middle of it. And then on this side, the different gates each have their own signs. Hello. Find me the shortest line, Nathan. Is that it? Yeah, I think it is. By the time we get there, it'll be the longest line. Do you do this too, folks? You try and find the shortest line, and then by the time you get there, it's not anymore? Yeah. There's the Disney 100 shields. I'm going to let you hold our spot here while I show folks what's going on. You can kind of see up there. So these shields are a different shape, round over at California Adventure, and here they're shield shaped. No light on the Mickey floral, oddly. Isn't that weird? And also, by this point of the night, we're usually swarmed with black crows, but tonight I don't see the crows. They would normally be in the trees above us, squawking away. I do see one flying over there, so maybe that's the first sign there's one up here. They're just waiting to dive bomb us. Are you dizzy yet? I'm just turning in circles. I hate the gate experience in the parks. I do think that it would be so much quicker if they had lines for magic key holders and lines for people who have already taken their photos, and separate lines for people who need to have their photos taken.
Or they could take a page out of Walt Disney World and
get rid of the turnstiles completely and just have people just walk right in.
so much easier.
Yeah, they implant your credit card directly in your brain and then they scan your forehead.
That is so untrue.
That's how they
That
do
is
it.
not how they do it.
By this time tomorrow, that'll be the story in the Orange County Register.
One thing that was interesting when we went to not Walt Disney World, Universal Studios Hollywood, that they had a more streamlined experience for their pass holders.
It was really quick. And even bag check was so fast there. They put your bag on a conveyor belt and you don't even have to open it. It's like they do at the airport. Only you don't have to take anything out. You don't have to take, if you happen to have a laptop, which only like we would, they don't make you take it out. They don't make you take your camera out. That's nice.
And they use biometrics there as opposed to taking a photo.
I'm trying to remember, did they do fingerprint there?
They did do a fingerprint.
Which is what they do in Florida. So those people who have said they can't do fingerprints in California because of privacy laws, apparently you can, because they're doing it legally at Universal. What are they doing at Knott's? Photos?
Yeah, photos for Knott's. But you can upload your picture beforehand.
No, we're almost to the front now. So hanging with us here.
I got my pass and the pass behind me.
Nathan will scan us both in.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we're in. Oh, Nathan, I feel so much better. Can you feel the magic flowing through you? He didn't answer. That means he feels no magic.
No, I got distracted by how shining my hair is in this video.
Oh my gosh. Distracted by your own hair, Rapunzel? I'm hearing the birds, everybody. Everything is returned to normal. The world is as it should be. You know what is not as it should be, Nathan? Look at all those burned out lights on the train station.
We're just a week away from Disney 100.
Every time I say something like that, if I complain about burned out light bulbs and stuff, I get so much hate mail. I just want everything to be perfect, that's all. Is that so bad? I feel like I'm doing the role of Walt Disney. He would walk through and yell at somebody and tell them, fix that light bulb. He didn't want anything burned out or broken ever. But all of a sudden, we have fans defending bad business practices, and I just think there's no room for that. You're not a real fan if you're making excuses for bad things. So Nathan, we're not seeing flags and bunting over here yet inside of Disneyland, but there is some at the castle. So we're going to walk over there. You'll notice that the Disney Gallery and Mr. Lincoln all closed up. They're installing a Disney 100 exhibit. We don't know how detailed that is. So we're sure the exhibit portion is in that front area where they have the Haunted Mansion stuff, because all of that's been removed. But what we don't know is, will they be using perhaps the Lincoln Theater in some way, like they did during Disneyland's 50th anniversary when they had the Steve Martin history movie playing there. Remember that?
I sure do.
One second just to look at this view.
That's right, Taylor. Someone has to acknowledge the broken things. That's how they get fixed. Unfortunately, not a lot of people like that when we acknowledge that things are broken.
I think it's one thing that I've just had to learn to have a tough skin about over the years. I've been doing this a very long time, and we're one of the few sites that have always acknowledged the bad things, but you all can tell we also love the parks. We love all the parks. Disney, Universal, Knott's, but in different ways. You know, Knott's is a very affordable park to go to. We're not as critical about Knott's because it doesn't cost as much. You can buy an annual pass for a little over the cost of a single day's admission.
I think you can get a monthly payment as low as $10
or
after
less.
a $35 down payment.
And then over at Universal, they're a little more expensive, but you can still get an annual pass for $300.
Oh, how did that get in?
Selfie
stick.
Supposed to have a selfie stick. We got that on video, so they're going to jail. Disney jail. Where they feed you so many churros that you beg for forgiveness. They do have over here, won't go in, but they have some of the Lunar New Year stuff in the Disney clothiers, and then we're going to go down and peek at the holiday store, Nathan, because those scary children are calling to me in my sleep. And you know what they're saying, Nathan?
Buy me.
Buy our 100th anniversary merchandise. Very scary.
And is this Disneyland's 100th anniversary? Because I keep hearing people talk about it like that.
It's funny. I've been mentioning it in our articles and also on these videos. There's been so much Disney 100 merchandise for so long now, for well over a month, that many people do think it's Disneyland's 100th anniversary. And there are a lot of people that do not know the difference between Disney and Disneyland. Oh, there they are, the children of the corn. We're going to see them. We visit them every season, folks. In the back, we see firecrackers, red lanterns. This is for Lunar New Year. And then up close, we see that the children of the corn, are on a cart that has sort of a Lunar New Year-esque umbrella, sort of tie-esque. And it's got some symbols, yin-yang, red and black color, beautiful. Oranges, good luck, tangerines. Tangerines. There's some really cool decor. I love it. They have stuff for every season. Beautiful dragons up there, firecrackers, red lanterns. Of course, they don't sell this stuff. It's decorated as though it's a kind of turn-of-the-century knick-knack store. Stuff from all over the world. And then just below it, Christmas. Because really, this is primarily a Christmas store. Get your Oogie Boogie next to your Lunar New Year. They do have the handmade ears. People oftentimes ask, can you get your ears customized? And you can. They'll make ears so whatever you want. It says Happy Valentine's Day. And then they have a book showing you the different options of what they can put on your ears. They do ornaments. They'll even do shirts and things. Look at that, Nathan. Stir sticks with Mickeys on them.
No, those are Mickey lights.
Are you kidding me? They're Christmas tree lights?
There's only 30 in a set, so don't get too crazy.
Oh my gosh, we'll have to have 100 sets. Oh boy, 100 sets of Mickey lights. Oh well. And then here's the corn dogs. Now they have some special food over here too, Nathan. Not Lunar New Year.
There's no Lunar New Year food here.
But they're doing Disney 100 stuff.
At some locations.
And
Most
what are the
of it
hit
is
items?
dessert stuff.
Except they have a birria
Toasted cheese,
sandwich.
and that's not new. That was new last year.
But I thought they changed it up this year.
I don't believe so. That was a favorite from last year that people just couldn't get enough of.
Let's look at these lines. So the park felt really busy over there, but the longest line I'm seeing Space Mountain at 1 hour, 35 minutes for Peter Pan's flight, which is not bad at all. Matterhorn bobsleds, 45 minutes, 5 minutes for Tea Party, 5 minutes for Pooh. Then buy our magic bands, please. because we need the money. And then on this side, they're leaving this magic band thing on longer and longer. Magic band, magic. Oh, and the screen is blank otherwise. Look at that. There are no other attractions in the park, only magic band.
There'll be something.
To play Winthrop when I was a kid, and this music is from Music Man. Every time I hear it, I think about that. Much less crowded over here.
Well, maybe they should offer some Lunar New Year stuff at Disneyland.
Maybe they should have it everywhere. At least food. You know what they don't have here anymore, and the reason they're not doing as many festival type things over here is they used to have the festival arena, which was back where Star Wars Land is now.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And there was room to do food and crafts and have special shows. I remember them doing the Hunchback show, Festival of Fools, for a couple of years. It was a great show. That was in the festival arena. Right next to it was the Big Thunder barbecue behind Big Thunder Mountain there. And on the stage there, they had kind of a Western show going on, so it was a little bit of dinner and a show. All of those kind of experiences are gone. Of course, there's no more Tahitian Terrace. There's no Golden Horseshoe Review. No Big Thunder barbecue, so all their dinner show restaurants are gone.
You'll have to go to Disney World for that.
Gotta go to Disney World.
I still have not seen that one at Fort Wilderness.
And we're gonna have to get up closer here, but I just want to show you all the castle. At the top of the center roof, you'll see there's a star. Now that one's not sideways, Nathan. But from here it looks a little lopsided. We'll get closer. And then just underneath, you'll see there's a shield just over the castle entry arch.
Impossible.
And then
indeed.
on either side of it are two good ferries, and we will go over there to look at it. I have a feeling those ferries are going to be holding a banner or something, because it looks like they have loops in their hands. That is probably where they attach the banners. So imagine tonight they're doing even more work on the castle, probably change out these gold and red banners soon with the blue and platinum, or purple and platinum, depending. And you'll see now how unsuccessful these shields are, because you really cannot make the detail out on them until you're right up on them. You'll probably have it lit as well, so it'll be a little better. And then up there, good fairies. A shield with a swoosh of magic and a wand. Let's see, am I able to zoom in a little bit? No. I don't know how to do that one. But there's two fairies. I don't know if that's Flora or Fauna or Merryweather. But you can see there that they've got little hoops in their hands. I'm sure there's something going on with them. And then up above, all of the finials are now on the castle after the holidays, but we know that there's going to be some changes. So some more stars and things and bells and stuff. I'm walking through the castle because when one gets to the castle entry, you walk through it. To what Walt called the happiest land of them all, Fantasyland. Because he wasn't able to build the Fantasyland he wanted because they didn't have very much money. But Tony Baxter was able to fix Fantasyland in the 80s, and they added so much stuff. So all of this stuff you see today and just take for granted, the castle kind of look to the buildings here and the rooftops, and each of the rides has its own unique facade. All of that was built in the 80s. So Walt couldn't afford to do that in the 50s. So they had just awnings, really. Tournament, they called it the tournament style. So it was meant to look medieval. And then Tony Baxter fleshed it all out and made it truly spectacular, something that we all need to thank Tony Baxter for. If you want to see a little bit more of what it looked like when Walt was here, you look at the version of Fantasyland that they have at Walt Disney World. It's a little simpler, a little bit of that tournament style persists there in Orlando. Useless, dusty facts. Oh, I have to stop and look here, Nathan. Look, this spot right here, you've got these Germanic-style buildings. There's the clock tower of Peter Pan, and behind them all, glowing in the distance, the Splatterhorn. Love it. These are the kind of details that I just love about Disneyland. It truly is one of the most beautiful theme parks ever built. The only two theme parks that are more beautiful, Disneyland Paris's Castle and Fantasyland, are just spectacular, and many other parts of the land, even their Tomorrowland, just stunning compared to what we have here. Oh, I love what we've got, but theirs is superior. And then Tokyo Disney Sea, a non-Disneyland style park that is just built to a scale that, well, it's just spectacular. You have to see it for yourself one day. Before you die, you need to make sure you cross that off your bucket list if you're a theme park fan. I remember, and I'm an emotional person in general, Nathan will tell you I cry at everything, but I walked into Tokyo Disney Sea for the first time, and it was just so overwhelming to me that I burst into tears. Like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. At first it was more like my jaw dropped, awe-inspiring. There's a gigantic volcano in the center of the park and this huge lagoon around it. And when you walk into the New York section of the park, there's an elevated railway. You know, things that get cut that they always propose and promise you for the various projects they build here in the States, and then they cancel and budget cut out, they did there. Just incredible. And in the center of the volcano, Nathan, there are two rides. You can go to the center of the earth, or you can voyage with Nemo 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. There's even a Storm Rider, all inside the caldera of a volcano. Wish they could build something like that here in the States. I think it would be so popular.
Are we making a full trip around Disneyland?
No, we're unfortunately going to have to start wrapping this up soon because our hour, I do believe, is up. And we started just a tiny bit late, but are there any questions that I need to answer for folks here?
I'm having some technical difficulties, so unfortunately, if you asked them a second ago, I didn't see them, so type them out one more time and I'll keep an
having
eye out.
Technical difficulties. I could have told you that. We're going to walk back here really quick, though, to Small World because somebody on the stream said that it opened today. And if there's one thing that Nathan loves, it's singing children. Singing children. Does that look more colorful than normal to you, the facade? Like they've relit it in Technicolor?
It does look nice.
We're going to investigate, folks, and we'll end our video there. So you do have a few minutes to ask your questions.
Is Tony Baxter still alive?
Well, yes, thankfully, Tony Baxter is alive. I just did a panel discussion for a group of business people, and Tony Baxter was one of the guests, so was Garner Holt, so was Bob Gurr, and I was the moderator. And he is just as sharp and amazing as ever. He's still a pretty young guy. Tony should definitely start a design company with some other separated from the company, amazing, legendary type Imagineers, and they should build a competitor to Disneyland, just to show Disney how it should still be done. He would never do it, though. He is company through and through. He loves Disney. Look at that beautiful facade. Short wait, 25 minutes. Of course, this is a Lightning Lane ride, so if you buy Genie Plus, you don't have to wait. It looks wonderful. This is really vibrant. They obviously have installed LED lighting in the backdrop of the facade there. So the front is white and gold, and the background is multicolor at night. I like that. It's nice. Well, folks, I have to thank you all so much for joining us and for joining Nathan, who had so much information to share tonight about the food. We're going to have some incredible coverage for you tomorrow from Lunar New Year. We already have it up, actually. If you want to go right now, front page of Mice Chat, click on the Lunar New Year article, the main article, and he's updated it already with photos and so forth, but I know that we're adding video and some other things. We also updated our Disney 100 coverage. If you look at the front page, find Andy's article there. We ran it early this morning, I know, because I did not sleep last night getting our articles ready to go, but he updated it during the day with even more photos, so you can be the one that knows everything in your friend group if you just check out those two Mice Chat articles. Natalie's got all of the merchandise for you. We also have the food up for you, info on those 2 new tiki mugs. We have all of the goodness from Super Nintendo World. Check it out. Go see it for yourself. I believe, though, that today or yesterday was the last day of the technical rehearsals. Now goes into pass holder.
Not pass holder.
At the end of the month, pass holders, but I don't know what they're doing now.
Member.
Team members. And then they do pass holders, and then it opens to the general public next month. Of course, next week also starts the official Disney 100, so we're going to have fireworks for you. We're going to have World of Color for you. We're going to have Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway for you. And of course, we're going to try out all the food, look at all the merchandise, so you're going to be the first to know. And then next month, the parade comes back, and, you know, magic happens, Nathan. That's what they say, so we'll have to see if the parade is as good as ever. A parade that is practically new and hasn't run in over 2 years. So thank you all so much. We will be back with you again real soon, I promise you. And until then, we'll see you online at micechats.com.